It must be no surprise that I'm captivated with science fiction. Considering that I'm a photo fashion designer and paintings in cryptocurrency, it's nearly required that I pay homage to the neon-soaked aesthetics of Blade Runner 2049, have a mystery crush on Ava from Ex Machina, and geek out over pretty a whole lot something Neil Stephenson puts out. However, with as soon as theoretical dystopia now apparently on our doorstep, we should be thinking about the trajectory of our civilization now extra than ever. Suddenly, the megacorps, oppressive regimes, and looming worldwide crises don't appear so remote anymore. Our favored works of technological know-how fiction are now becoming realities which can be impacting our each-day lives. And right here we are, wrestling with the consequences of our new reality staring into our displays and trapped in our houses just like the characters in Ready Player One. Still from the music scene, by way of blockhead recent activities have positioned us at a chunk of a crossroads. We have an possibility in the front people to maintain down this route, or use this disaster as a be careful call to pivot our destiny toward a global that is extra equitable, safe, and empowering for all. We are the heroes of our own journey right now. And even as the information may inform us, it's our fiction that evokes us to assume what is possible. Our worldview and concept of what's feasible are largely fashioned through the media we consume. You are what you consume after all. And at the same time as the news would possibly inform us, it's our fiction that evokes us to imagine what's possible. Science fiction has constantly requested the big questions, at the same time as simultaneously making ready us for what may be around the corner. Where are we heading? What issues may we create for ourselves? And wait, weren't we promised flying motors? Through fascinating characters, suspenseful plots, and philosophical musings, we use fiction primarily else to tell excellent memories and entertain. But there is any other cause, that is to inspire the subsequent generation about what the human thoughts is capable of and to shape our destiny for generations to come back. How many engineers got their start after seeing Star Wars? How many interface designers had been inspired by means of Minority Report? The iPad appears plenty like the tablet tool in 2001, A Space Odyssey. The global desires this vision more than ever. And whilst I love the dystopian vibes of cyberpunk aesthetics as a whole lot as anyone, is there some other international we will create that inspires us and the following technology to happen a more sustainable, equitable, and unfastened destiny for all? Enter solarpunk. I've currently stumbled upon a lesser regarded style of technological know-how fiction referred to as solarpunk. Like cyberpunk, it's miles a style of speculative fiction wrapped in a signature aesthetic that paints a vision of the destiny we may want to create. The following definition from this reference guide summarizes it well. Solarpunk is a motion in speculative fiction, artwork, style and activism that seeks to answer and embody the question, what does a sustainable civilization appear to be, and how can we get there? The aesthetics of solarpunk merge the practical with the stunning, the properly designed with the inexperienced and wild, the bright and colorful with the earthy and stable. Solarpunk may be utopian, simply positive, or worried with the struggles and course to a better world, but never dystopian. As our global royals with calamity, we need answers, now not warnings. Solutions to stay without difficulty without fossil fuels, to equitably control scarcity and proportion abundance, to be kinder to every different and to the planet we proportion. At once a vision of the destiny, a considerate provocation, and an workable lifestyle. Apart from the clean aesthetic differences, a key difference right here between solarpunk and cyberpunk is the emphasis on solutions, now not warnings. It appears that solarpunk isn't always interested by exploring capability paths that may fit wrong. Rather, it assumes that the issues are already here and focuses most of its energy on solutions and a route forward. The warnings of cyberpunk faucet into the worry of what might appear, and makes use of that as a premise for developing plot anxiety. Solarpunk encourages us to simply accept the reality of the present and move ahead through focusing on answers to the problems handy. There also are some clean differentiators on how society is established and depicted in the two genres. Cyberpunk, economy dominated by using huge groups. Environment is typically wrecked, oppressive. Powerful generation has created a wealth hole. Drugs used as an escape from fact. Man merging with device. Always raining. Solarpunk, decentralized symbiotic monetary systems. Living in balance with surroundings. Technology empowers the person. Drugs used to enlarge focus and increase reality. Man working along gadget. Sunny with a hazard of showers. A large distinction here is how humanity chooses to harness the technology. Do we use it to adapt ourselves past our modern-day organic form and catapult us towards merging with machines, or do we display considerate restraint and use era to bring us greater instability with our very own biology and atmosphere? This is the question for the ages, and yet I don't suppose the solution needs to be so black and white. In many ways, growing and using generation is the most natural aspect that we will do as a species. The easy strains of an iPhone appear to comparison the squiggly traces of the raw materials it's made from, however on the stop of the day, it's all a byproduct of an exploding supernova. As Carl Sagan put it, we are fabricated from superstar stuff. We do not want to view generation as an alien phenomenon separating us from nature, but as an alternative, as an emergent phenomenon and inevitable byproduct of all natural systems. It's not productive to pretend that things will magically fall into place if we put out the right vibes into the universe. Solarpunk thoughts remind us that there's a path forward in which we are able to have our cake and eat it too. We can embrace the exponential upward push of our expertise and control over the universe, even as the usage of that understanding to ensure that we do now not destroy our environment, society, and ourselves inside the system. Now I realize what you is probably thinking, because I am proper there with you. Is this too good to be genuine? Maybe. Is truth probably to play out this peacefully? Unlikely. Should that stop us from trying? No. It's called speculative fiction for a reason. It's now not effective to fake that matters will magically fall into location if we put out the right vibes into the universe. We want calculated development, backing from the hard sciences, and an understanding that compromises and alternate offs will continually have to be made. The goal of solarpunk isn't always to want for a higher destiny, however, instead to propagate a series of values, processes, and awarenesses into our collective psychology that allows us to keep pushing ahead with our progress, without sacrificing our own humanity and connection to the natural world in that pursuit. Visions of the future, our expectancies for the future, are guided largely with the aid of our predictions of what it's going to seem like. You don't need to be stoned in a dorm room to assume, dude, the destiny best looks like the destiny because that's what we say the destiny seems like. And yet our visions aren't constantly accurate. We constantly overestimate what may be performed in 1 year and underestimate what may be accomplished in 10 years. It is apparent in drawings from the Victorian era that our predictions for the future are often misguided by our gift second. Will our vision of day after today appearance this outdated in 10 years? When we say something appears futuristic, we are in large part evaluating that to other artifacts of our gift, concept art, and this year's modern blockbuster. It, consequently, puts quite a few stress on the creators shaping our fictional worlds, for they are the primary to the front strains in a battle of thoughts competing to define what the destiny of our international ought to and have to look like. Most of our memories approximately the destiny are in large part dystopian. And it's authentic that this reflects the numerous repressive structures that currently dominate our lives. I understand how crucial the backdrop of an oppressive regime can be in creating an antagonist you love to hate, or how an experiment gone wrong can installation a hero's redemption and a charming plot arc. However, I nonetheless find myself craving for a one-of-a-kind tackle what our future should look like. Are we so positive that our course ends in dystopia that we can't even explore alternative options, even in our imaginations? I'm now not trying to tell humans what they have to or should now not create. In reality, I trust that our freedom to create what we pick out is a liberty that have to be fought for in any respect cost. What I am asking, but, is why we as human beings will be predisposed to discover most effective the darkest visions of our destiny within the memories we tell ourselves. as amusing as it is to dream up a techno-dystopian future, I'd guess that maximum folks in all likelihood prefer no longer to live in a world this is oppressed, dangerous, and for some cause usually reigning. I trust that, if we are able to manifest greater visions of the destiny based now not in what we are afraid of, however in what we're hopeful for, we'll be surprised with what we accomplish and who we can inspire.